Welcome to Holistic Hearts. I'm your host, Kristen Chadwick, and today we have something very special. We have my sweet, dear husband, Joshua, coming to share with you an encounter that he has led other men and women through, and I'm just so honored that he said yes. And I want to remind you too, if you want to hear a little bit about our story, about kind of the things that we've walked through in our marriage, go back to the first year in 2020. We recorded a few episodes together and just shared and imparted some wisdom and knowledge that we've walked through in our 16 years of marriage and our journey together spiritually and separately. And it's really encouraging. So if you are married and you are the wife, I encourage you to share this with your husband, because I think that there's a unique perspective that comes from a man sharing this encounter to another man. And as always, it's going to impact you as well as a woman. I just think that he brings a whole different flavor to an encounter, and always Holy Spirit is here, and he does such a beautiful job of using Joshua's voice, and I hope it touches you today. All right, here we go.
As usual, I want you to get in a comfortable spot, somewhere where you can lay your head down, close your eyes, and just be present. I want you to imagine waking up after an amazing night's sleep to a room that you're very familiar with, in a bed that is super comfortable. You're waking up excited about the day, but also a little nervous about what it might bring. You go downstairs, grab a cup of coffee, and head out to your garage. You grab your backpack and start loading it up with the things that you think you might need on this trip that you're going on today. So you start filling it, and with each thing that you put into the backpack, it gets heavier and heavier. You're not exactly sure where you're going. You have a vague idea, but all the more reason you feel like you have to pack anything and everything for whatever you might encounter. You finish your cup of coffee, hop in your truck, and take off towards the mountains. When you get there to the trailhead, you can't help but just feel the weight that you just put on in your backpack, and feel like it's going to be a long day hiking. But you put one foot in front of the other and head up toward your destination. About a mile in, you can really feel your backpack digging into your shoulders. Everything that you put in this feels like it gained weight as you were walking. But you keep trudging on. Suddenly, off in the distance, you see a figure heading towards you. It's a man that you recognize, mainly from his eyes. He stops and asks if he can join you on your journey. And you say, "Sure, I'd love the company." So as you walk with this man, you begin to talk with him. Nothing out of the ordinary, just small talk about life, about what's going on, about where you're heading, what your plans are. But still, every step that you take, the backpack continues to be heavier and heavier. He looks over to you and can't help but notice your uncomfortability with the backpack, and it feels like every step that you take is more labored than the last. He turns to you and says, "Come with me, let's take a little detour. I've got something I would like to show you." So you walk with him, and suddenly you're coming into a clearing where it looks like a camp has been made. You smell something cooking over the fire, and you see a few hammocks strung up in the trees. He looks over and smiles and says, This is for you. I wanted you to have a place to rest. Let me take your backpack from you." So you take the backpack off. He puts it on the ground, and you look over at one of the hammocks in the trees, and he says, "Go for it. Go take a nap. You've come a long way. Take a load off for a little bit." So you will go over to one of the hammocks and put your feet up, take off your boots, and just start to rest. You feel the sun beating down on you, and it is the most peaceful, quiet place that you think you've ever been. It feels like an eternity because of the amazing rest that you got. But you hop out of the hammock with a new sense of urgency and pep in your step to take on this next part of the journey. You put on your boots and walk over to where your backpack is. And Jesus, standing there, says, "Hey, I know that backpack was really heavy. Take a look at what's inside of it." And you're like, "Well, I know what's inside of it. I packed it this morning, knowing that I would need all the things for this journey." But to be polite and to oblige, you go over to your backpack and start opening up the pack, and you look in it, and to your surprise, all you see are these big rocks that you've been carrying around. And a little confused, you look over to Jesus, and he says, have had everything prepared for you. You don't have to take on the burdens that you put into your backpack. Everything that you think you might need, I've already taken care of. And with that, he comes over and starts helping you unload the backpack, lightening it with every rock that you start taking out of it. You can't help but think of this next part of your journey. But as you've thought through the day, meeting this man on this trail and him providing all of your needs in this short little trip, you feel a peace about not worrying about what might come and being able to just lay everything down at his feet. You pick up your backpack and it feels so light, and you have, again, that pep in your step for the next part of the journey. And even though you're worried about what might come, you look over into Jesus' eyes and he just smiles back at you. And you know that everything is going to be okay, no matter where you go, because somehow you know that there will be these points where he will provide everything that you need for whatever journey lies ahead.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show today, this encounter, if it moved you, would you share with a friend, or even just hit the review button down below if you're listening on Apple Podcasts? It would just help us out so much. Also, if you want to dive deeper, if you are a woman of faith who is maybe in the process of deconstructing, or you have deconstructed and you don't know where to go from here, or you're just ready for a whole different experience in experiencing him, experiencing Jesus, experiencing God in a whole new level, then I encourage you to come and join us inside the Holistic Hearts membership community. This is where we're going to go deeper. We're going to have more of an experience with Jesus versus a to-do list, a checklist. And so I encourage you to go check it out. You can try it for free. The link is below.